him on each slide. All right?
All right, all right.
Any questions, Don?
No? No questions?
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes. And if you have one, feel free to set yours.
Okay.
While you're teaching, I may be looking down at times. It's only because I'm trying to take careful notes so that I can give you the best possible feedback during the lesson.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so I have my clock set for 15 minutes. I will do a countdown of 5. If you're ready, I can do that, and we can set our timer at the same time.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Teacher Dong. What's your name? Good. My name is...
My name is...
Good job. How old are you? 6? 7? 8? 8 years old? 5? I'm 5 years old.
I'm 5 years old.
Good. Wow. Good job. Are you ready?
Ready.
Good. When you do a good job, you get 1 leaf on your tree. Good. What do you see?
Tomato.
Good. I see a tomato.
I see tomato.
Good try. I see a tomato.
I see a tomato.
Good. Good job. 1 leaf. 1 leaf. 2 leaves.
2.
Wow.
1.
What do you see?
Elbow.
Good. I see an elbow. An elbow.
I see a elbow.
I see an elbow.
I see an elbow.
Good. Yes. What do you see?
Robot.
Yes, robot. What do you see?
Table.
Yes, I see a table. And what do you see? Yes, I see a ruler.
I see a ruler.
Good job, Sue. What do you see?
Sponge.
Tongue. G, 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 g. Tongue. I see a tongue.
I see a tongue.
Yes, good. That's 3 leaves. 1, 2, 3 leaves. Good job.
Okay.
Big S, small s. S makes the sound S. S makes the sound S.
S makes sound.
Good. S makes the sound S. What sound does K make?
K. K.
Yes. K makes the sound K, 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 K.
K makes the sound.
Good. You draw a line to big K. Good job. That's 4 leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves.
Thank you.
K, K, K. K makes the sound K, K. Eh, eh. Egg starts with eh. Egg starts with
Start with E.
good. What does egg start with?
Eggs start with E.
Yes. Egg starts with eh. Egg starts with eh. Key.
Key.
Yes. What sound does key start with?
Key start with K. K.
Yes. Good. You draw a line from key to k, k. Good. What else starts with k, k, k?
Kit.
Yes. Kite starts with k. Kite. Draw a line to kite. Good. Elephant.
Elephant.
What sound does elephant start with?
Elephant starts with E.
Good. Good job. X. Letter X. Big X.
Big X.
Good. Big X. Small X. Small X.
Small X. Small X.
X makes the sound X. X. Good. X makes the sound X. Good. X, X, X.
X, X, X.
Good. Fox.
Fox.
Fox, 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 fox. Fox, 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 fox. What do you see?
Fox.
I see a fox.
I see a fox.
Good. You get 5 leaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves.
3, 4, 5.
Ox.
Ox.
Ox, ox, ox. What do you see?
Ox.
Good. I see an ox.
I see a ox.
An ox. I see an ox.
I see an ox.
Good. Yes. It's activity time. Activity time. Woohoo! Ah.
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 X.
X.
Ah. X. Axe.
Axe.
Good. T. T. Axe.
Tax.
Tax. Good. What do you see?
X.
Yes, I see X. 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 What do you see?
I see X.
Good. X.
Ox.
Yes. Good. And
Ox.
ox. Ox, ox. Good. Ix.
X.
Ix.
X.
T. 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 Good.
X. Ticks.
Yes. Good. Good job. Look at all your leaves. And the
1,
blue
2, 3,
bird.
4.
5 leaves. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you next
Okay,
time.
so how did you feel? See you next time. So you have a minute left. How did you feel going through this? What do you think you did well? What might you change?
Well, I would not feel so rushed because I just had a brain spasm or something, and switched around the times. I was thinking 10 minutes for this one, 15 for the next one. I know that it's 15 for this one and 10 minutes for the next lesson,
Yes.
but for some reason
Yes.
during the lesson I was thinking, as I was looking at the clock, oh, 10 minutes is approaching, and I just, so I rushed through the
Where do you
last 4 or 5 slides.
where do you feel you would have spent more time?
On the, probably on the ox, and ever since the ox, I rushed on the ox, like after Fox, maybe Fox, after, once Fox was there, I started rushing. And then the memory
I think
game,
you
I
did.
rushed through that. The Ix slide, I rushed through that. I would have done
Well,
more
the X
letters.
slide, you definitely could have done more letters on the X slide. I felt that you spent enough time with Fox, and I felt like the student had fun with Fox, and you were doing it like a chime, and getting the student to respond. Ox, too, maybe a little bit more time with Ox, maybe some more TPR even with Ox,
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
just getting them, and having a lot of fun, and Ox, and the same way you did Fox, and they could even do Fox and TPR.
Hmm.
I thought you did a good job with the memory slide with the circle and the connecting the line, and you went back and forth one at a time, so it was easy for the student to follow in that respect. Let's look at slide 6. So slide 6, you did a good job with trying to get the student to use the target sentences, identify the vocabulary. You gave the student a chance to identify it on their own before you went ahead and gave them the answer. You did a lot of the approach of the I do, we do, you do, which is wonderful. Now here, you did a great job teaching X, big X, small x. Perhaps maybe a little bit more maybe extension here. You could have had the student circle big X. So even though you're showing the student the small and the big X, let's see if the student can then identify. So just circle big X. Maybe spent a little more time on the slide, circle small x, and that might have extended the lesson a little bit, seeing that the student can identify both. Also, you did a good job modeling the target sentence that X makes the sound X, but your student never actually said this target sentence here.
Hmm.
So make sure that your student is also using the target sentence, also appropriately and repeating it back to you. You did a great job with your synthetic phonics. I think, great there. You corrected the K sound. You corrected the K, the K sound, with just a very crisp K, K. So that was wonderful. Um, let's look at slide 5. So slide 5,
Hmm.
I think also, we didn't complete all of these. I think you might have had time to complete this.
Hmm.
But of course, like you said, you thought you were under pressure with the 10 minutes. So elephant, make sure your student is saying the words correctly. Just you don't want to promote good habits right from the start. So if your student says elephant, make sure you get those syllables in. You can use your fingers like you were doing with the sentence structure. You can clap elephant, make sure they're getting that correctly, make sure they repeat it back to you. And then, draw the line and identify. Same with kite. Now, kite, you corrected the pronunciation for the student. A lot of my students get the I and the E mixed up. But you definitely want to, and the short and the long vowels, you definitely want to have the student repeat it back to you correctly as well. So kite, and have them repeat that back. Also, flashcards, you had a wonderful amount of props. Flashcards would help with, with helping them actually draw the line and connect the letter, the sound. Elephant starts with k, elephant starts with eh, and then draw the line. So flashcards are a wonderful tool to use also, along with all the other props that you have. You said you rushed it. Slide 4 was a little bit rushed, I felt. You did do the draw a line, but the student modeled the first one, which was great, and then I think it was the S and then K. You definitely could have reviewed the sounds in this. I think you would have had time to do that. Just review the sounds quickly with the student, and then moved on to the other content. Let's look at the Fox slide, which was 7. So we're talking about extending the material. So for example, like I said, circle the big X, circle the small x. Same thing here. You could also ask the students, circle X, because they just learned that letter. See if they can identify X. So circle X, and that's a wonderful small x to extend the lesson here. Same thing with ox. Circle X in ox. So that's also an excellent way of extending. So make sure that your student is repeating all the target sentences back to you, and any of the corrections that you make, that they're repeating those things back to you as you correct them. All right, do you have any questions so far?
No, I don't think I have any questions.
Okay, great. You also did a great job with allowing the student to count the leaves. A little bit of incidental language when you introduced it, just a little, as far as, let me see if I can say that.
On your tree, I said?
Right, you get 1 leaf on your tree, so they may not quite understand that, but as you're showing them and putting it on, they'll get the leaf. That's a good way to extend that. Counting. The other thing you could also do, maybe point out that the leaves are green and the bird was blue.
Oh.
So there's all kinds of ways of extending there.
Yeah,
okay.
I did say blue bird, but I didn't. I could have said, what color is this bird? Look at all your leaves. And a blue
2, 3,
bird.
4. A couple things I just want to mention. Your background. The blue is beautiful, but if you could just put maybe some child-friendly object, you could even have displayed the tree some way, and then the child could see the leaves accumulating on that. Something simple and educational. There you go. Wonderful. You're a quick learner. Very good, very good. Yeah, so this way it looks like a classroom, and it's child-friendly and inviting. A little bit on your lighting I'd like you to tweak. Your lighting is good now, but when you hold things up and back, I don't know if it's your camera gets a little bit dark, or so maybe kind of play around with that lighting. Think all front lighting. If you can get all the lighting, a floor lamp in the front, a light coming from the front. No backlighting. Just think all front. Okay, so do you have any questions so far?
No, no questions.
All right, let's talk about the next level. Also, I just want to make note that I know in the directions that you get sent from the company that the lower level is a 5-year-old child, but remember, it may not always be a 5-year-old child. It could be a low level, could be an 8-year-old student. So you're never quite sure what age you may get. I've taught a 12-year-old at a low level. So, sometimes I'm always checking to see what their age group is. So this way I can adjust my rewards and things like that. Okay, so let's talk about the next level. The intermediate level I'll be playing the student who has already had a year um, uh, worth of English experience. I'll be able to read a little bit more proficiently. I will stumble over certain words. So with that in mind, when you're introducing the new vocabulary, you can always check the student's comprehension. Do they know what a certain vocabulary word is? Do they understand? And if that's the case, then maybe you don't have to use time in explaining that. See if they understand what the word is, then you don't have to go into a long definition. Always introduce the word first. So before reading, you want to introduce the vocabulary word. This way they know how to pronounce it. So as they're reading it in the sentence, they'll experience success while they're reading, and you know that they'll be able to say it correctly and identify and understand the meaning of the word. Think of, in this level, 30-70. So whereas the lower level, am I sharing the speaking? At this level, you want to think, is my student speaking more than I am on each slide? As well as the extending. Bring the child's environment into the lesson so they can connect it. Even though it is about China, ask them where they live. Do they know certain things? Have they eaten, or do they have? Definitely connect with the student in that way. Okay. Also, remember to correct their sentence structure, their grammar, their pronunciation. Any questions before we start?
Nope, no questions.
Okay, so you'll have 11 minutes for this part.
Okay,
because you had an
yeah.
extra. You had,
Okay. Lucky me.
You had an
okay.
extra minute.
Because
Although
of my
you
mistake.
could have used that minute elsewhere.
Yes.
I also use cards, and let me show you. I use index cards with my students. If you have extra time, I'm always reviewing words that they may learn, and if I ever have any extra time, I'm always prepared with a backup that's educational, and we can also practice on material. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, I'll do a countdown.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Dong.
What's your name? Hello,
Sure.
Where are you from?
China.
I am from China.
I am from China.
Good. Are you ready?
Ready.
Today, we're going to learn about my country, my culture. Country.
Country.
Good. Good job. Will you read this?
China is my country. It is land where I was born.
Good. Good job. When you do a good job, you get to dress up your monster.
Monster. Yes.
Nice hat.
Thank you.
A country is a nation with people, money, language, culture, land, and government. Government.
Government. What means culture?
Culture. Good question. Culture is music and art and food and the way people do things in a certain place. All those things are their culture. Music, art, even their manners. Flag.
Flag.
Good. Cloth.
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 Yes, good. You just got a flower in your hat.
Thank you.
Yes. Pretty flower.
Ugly monster.
Pretty flower on an ugly monster. Represent.
Represent.
Good. Read.
This is the flag of my country.
Good. And read this.
A flag is a piece of cloth that can represent a country.
Good. Thank you. A flag is a piece of cloth that can represent a country. Peace.
Peace.
Good. Peace.
Peace.
Good. Cloth.
Cloth.
Cloth. Yes. Yes, you have cloth. Yes, good. Flag. Read this, please.
This is the America flag.
Mm-hmm.
American flag.
What is this?
American flag.
Yes, good. This is the American flag.
This is the American flag.
What does this represent? What
It
country?
represents America.
Yes, good. Good. And you get a Guitar. Guitar, guitar, guitar. What is this?
Hamburger.
Yes, this represents hamburgers. This yellow M. This yellow M represents hamburgers. Do you like hamburgers?
I like.
Good. And what's this?
Nick.
Yes, this represents Nike.
This represents Nike.
Good. And what does this flag represent?
This
China flag. Yes.
This is the Chinese flag. It represents China.
it represents China.
China, 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 China. You take China. China. I love them. China, 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 China. I have to have my China. China, 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 China. China, 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 China. I've been saying China, 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 China. I love China, China, China all the time. China. When was the last time you heard China?
Good. This is the country of China.
Yes.
And the capital of capital.
Capital.
Good. Capital. Read this, please.
The capital of China is Beijing.
Yes. Have you seen Beijing?
I live Beijing.
Really? You live in Beijing?
Yes.
I live in Beijing.
I live in Beijing.
Good. And you just got a soccer ball. Ball.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Monsters like soccer balls, just like we like hamburgers. A capital is the main city of a country where the president works.
Yes. Okay.
Landmark. Landmark.
Landmark.
Good. Landmark. Read.
In China, there are many famous landmarks.
Yes, famous landmarks. Famous landmarks.
Famous landmarks.
And read this, please.
A landmark is a place or a building that is famous and important for a country.
Good job. You got famous. Good memory.
Thank you.
And read this.
Some landmarks are made by people and some are natural.
Good. Natural. Natural. Made by people or natural?
What means natural?
Natural means not made by people.
Okay, that's our time.
Okay.
Tell me your thoughts about this lesson and what you felt you did well, what you might want to do differently.
Well, of course I would try to not skip the last two slides or three slides. They're my the last two slides, which are my favorite slides anyway, not that it matters, but yeah, I would try to watch my time better. And
perhaps you could have saved some time on this slide. Country, you did a beautiful job with your display of explaining all the different things, people, language, government. Great job showing the president for government, especially when explaining capital, you know, where the government lives, because the student, you were right on key that the student would not know the word government. And so maybe just asking, you know, country, do you know what a country is? And see if you could name the countries, and then you might have been able to save a little bit of time there, moving a little faster through this if they understood the country. Culture. The student asked what culture meant. So same thing you could have done that you did for to explain what country was. You could have done. You did a great job of explaining, you know, music and food. You could have even shown some pictures if you'd anticipated that. But I think your student would understand how you describe that. Even holidays, clothing, you know, special clothing
yes.
that we wear, and explaining culture. So I think you did a great job, you know, explaining all those things to your student, and I think you were prepared for that, especially for describing what country was. Let's look at the next slide. So here again, represent. I might have spent a little bit more time here, just making sure the student understood represent. So if they understood country, let's move on. And let's spend a little bit more time with this. This is a difficult one to explain. And I'm going to encourage you to make use of the chat box. So feel free for the you know, intermediate, advanced levels, use chat box. Use the words that they're saying incorrectly. Peace, famous, good, exactly. Represent. So you could always do this, something like this, that the Chinese flag equals. I love the use of the equal sign. Chinese flag equals China. So you could have explained it here. So then this way, when we're going into slide 19, you know that your student has a pretty clear understanding of what represent means. So you could also have done it this way. You're great with your, you know, having your props and your pictures. When I see the Chinese flag, I think China represents. The Chinese flag represents, and then that's another way kind of explaining that. Same thing when we went into the American flag. Also, I don't know if you noticed some of the, on the objective sheet, some of the target sentences in order to extend the material a little bit more was, what does the flag look like? What does the next flag look like? And then they could have described that to you. Let's look at slide 19. So hopefully, you know, getting through 17, your student has a good understanding of represents, and once they do, this slide should go fairly quickly. use that I do, we do, you do approach. So you model this one for this represents Chinese language, you know, so you do one. And now let's do this one together. I had said hamburgers, you could say represents this, you know, maybe they can do, you can do the sentence together. And then when we get to this, now I know Nike and Nike can be confusing. I'm not sure if in China they may use Nike, but either way, I would at this point say yes, but here we say Nike too, and tell them, you know, perhaps both ways may be correct. So good job. We say, you know, just and you could even use the chat box. Nike equals Nike. You can spell it phonetically. So then here for Nike, see if they can do their sentence themselves. And if they can, you know they understand represent and they can use it correctly, and then you can definitely move on to capital. And good job explaining natural and catching those errors and correcting the pronunciation. I would just tweak a couple things. For example, as your student is responding to you, you ask me if I liked something, and I said yes, I like. So you want to correct that conversational grammar, sentence structure. Yes, I like McDonald's, or yes, I do. Just as long as it's not yes, I like. It's not fragmented. Okay, let's see. I think, and you corrected Chinese. I had said China flag, and you corrected that with Chinese, so that's great. They'll always have difficulty with those two words. Okay, I think those are all my suggestions. Always remember never to accept yes or no answers from them. Elicit those full sentences. Do you have any questions on anything, or perhaps any of the slides we didn't get to?
No, I don't.
Okay. And then here also you could check their comprehension of landmark before we moved on to the next slide. As far as what is made by man and what is natural, great use of the hammer, and see if they can identify, you know, which one is natural. Also extending, have you ever been to the Great Wall? Same way you asked me if I had seen or been to Beijing. So of course I never have been, but so okay, so you will hear from someone within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
And if you do not, feel free to email this, the Teach VIPKID, but I believe you may have this email address. If you don't hear anything, do a shout out. You know, what's my feedback? What's my next step? Feel free to do that. But I'm sure you will definitely hear something within 48 hours.
Okay.
Also, there's one other thing. This is a link that I will put in your feedback, and it's a link to what the company would like you to know. It's called a 3 red line notice, and it's 3 red lines you don't want to cross. 3 red lines that if you adhere to, you'll be able to build, say, your business and build your booking rate, and hopefully students will continue to come your way if you're hired. So the one is to be on time. Set your alarm clock, set a couple alarm clocks, especially if you're not used to waking up at the early hours. Make sure you don't teach over 28 minutes because that may make you late to the next class. A teacher no-show goes on your profile, and you definitely want to avoid that. Plus your students on the other end waiting excitedly for you to arrive. Also, if you are hired, another thing is to be professional. So fix your background, fix your lighting. I go into the classroom a half hour before I teach to make sure I have no problems with sound or my camera's open. Sometimes on Chrome, my camera won't open, and I'm not sure why. I restart my computer, and we're good to go. So this way you're taking care of those things way before the class instead of 2 or 3 minutes before the class. You don't want to panic. And the last thing is to be active. Positive, and I think you're a very positive person. You're encouraging, you correct in a positive way. Even for the younger ones, I may bring in other props to cheer for them. Go down, Good, huh? Yeah, you know, the high fives and all that, lots of energy because the online classroom, that virtual classroom, needs a lot of energy. Teaching takes a lot of energy. Well, this particular environment, there you go. Oh my gosh, yes, you should have made that my
I
reward.
should have. I know. I had planned to, but I had all this. I had all this stuff in my head.
Yes, that's
I have all these props
fabulous.
I forgot to use, but.
Absolutely. Well, you don't want to use many, but don't make
Hmm.
it too distracting either.
Right.
But definitely, and you'll see what your students like and what your students don't like. And exactly, keep it lively and active, and then your student will be engaged, and learning will be fun. Okay. Any more questions, Don?
No, no, that's. Thank you.
All right. Fabulous, fabulous. Well, it was very nice meeting you, and
Nice
I wish
meeting
you
you.
luck.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye-bye.
China.